Hey guys, I'm Daniel.
And I'm Matthew, and you're listening to the That Damn Brand podcast.
So it's been a while since we've done our last one. A lot of cool things have been popping up since then. So we're going to jump right into it. First one, major announcement: Xbox buys ZeniMax. For you guys that don't know, they hold Bethesda, so they're the parent company of Bethesda. So now they have access to all the Elder Scroll properties. Um,
Doom, Fallout.
yeah, id as well. Yeah. So that's going to be pretty interesting. They also are making Deathloop, which is a PS4 timed exclusive. Xbox has already said they are going to honor that, which I guess I wouldn't think that they would be able to get out of that, but you know, that's pretty big drop. There's a lot of Elder Scroll fans out there. It's one of the games that how many fucking times have they sold five, like or Oblivion or no, not Oblivion. It is
Skyrim.
Skyrim, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think they imported everything. Hell, I saw
Alexa.
yeah, I saw Reddit fucking someone made the game onto the little keyboard screen. Like the screen that like tells you what mode you're in or whatever, like on
Yeah.
really, really fancy ass keyboards. Like shit, this thing's getting ported to everything. So how do you feel about that?
It's about Skyrim getting ported to everything or about the purchase?
Well, both. Let's go with both right now. I'm actually
well,
tired. Okay, go.
so like the actual purchase, let's go there
Yeah.
first. I mean, it's a big move for Microsoft. Like, it's a big gain. It's a huge, like, it's almost like a fuck you to a lot of other, probably mostly Sony than Nintendo, because Nintendo's like not as antagonistic with Microsoft. They have a bit better working relationship because of at one point Xbox Live was rumored to be on Switch. But anyway, so it's a huge deal, and I feel like it does help bolster the Xbox's lineup of games once all those exclusive deals end. I don't remember being too like. I'm pretty sure we watched the E3 when they announced Deathloop, and we were like, "That's cool." Like it wasn't like fucking PSO. We weren't hyped.
Yeah.
And so the fact that it's an exclusive and that they're still agreeing, like still honoring it, like
It's timed exclusive, by the way.
well, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
but they're honoring that. I'm just like, it's not that big a deal to me. And as you said, it's timed, so it'll come out eventually. But I don't know. I have to wait and see how that game goes. But the rest of them, like Elder Scrolls 6, if it doesn't end up on any PlayStation console or whatever, like that's huge. As you said, Skyrim's been ported to everything, and including Alexa. You can just play basically a text version of it where it says, you walk up onto a hill and you encounter a goblin. What do you do? And that sort of thing. So I mean, hell, like the popularity of Elder Scrolls is high. I mean, you and I used to play Elder Scrolls Online, which I still feel like sometimes I want to jump into again, but it sucks because you have to keep download every update known to mankind at
Yeah.
once. But yeah, I don't. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal.
I agree it's big. I don't think it's like I think it could be a console seller for some. I do believe it adds to their I guess lineup in a big way though. Like people will see like, oh, this is Halo and Elder Scrolls, so I might go. I don't think people are gonna be like it has Elder Scrolls and then buy it on that. But it does have a huge fan base. Fallout, maybe with Fallout's, and then with Obsidian being an Xbox company as well, there's a possibility of a Fallout New Vegas too, because Xbox owns both.
I think they actually commented on that. Like somebody on Twitter was like, "Hey, so does this mean we'll get New Vegas too?" And they were like,
Yeah, they did
"Mm."
the arm shrug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I think that's cool, and that just the speculation itself can lead to some sales. Um, I I do see it as a big fuck you to Sony, and I think it's unfortunately I feel it is a move, something that Microsoft kind of needed to do, because Sony is just buying up all these exclusives. Well, they're not buying up studios. Well, they bought up some studios, but they're mainly buying exclusives, like with the Dark Souls or Demon Souls. Um,
Remastered or whatever.
yeah, like so they're really buying just games on their own. This is just like a big like we have all the money in the world. We can do it. Like we can take you on if you want to play this game. To me, it's kind of a warning shot more than anything else. Would you see it as that or no? Because they didn't do that until Sony did.
It could be interpreted that way, and you and I were talking before we were recording this episode about how you don't really realize the context of 7.6 billion.
I think it's 7.5. Yeah, like so it sold for 7.5 billion. And when I hear 7.5 billion, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of fucking money. But most people who are in mine and Matt's pay grade can't really comprehend 7.5 billion. And I was watching Linus Tech Tips, his WAN show, or what the fuck he calls it.
That's what it's called, yeah.
And they were talking about how much money 7.5 billion actually is. And Disney bought both Star Wars and Marvel for less than 7.5 billion combined. This, like, whoever owns ZeniMax, those stockholders are fucking like made for a lot. Well, not that they weren't before, but they have a lot more fucking money.
Right.
That's a crazy amount. Like,
it really does boggle the mind, like you said, because if they paid, for Marvel and Star Wars for less money, fuck, Microsoft could have bought Marvel and Star Wars.
Yeah, like if I was in Microsoft shoes, and not like it's up on the table anymore, I would have totally bought, like, even at 7.5, like the same price, I would have bought Star Wars and Marvel over ZeniMax.
Especially because they already had a working relationship. Now it's just like, oh well, we're their bosses. But
Yeah.
like, it's not like they were antagonistic or whatever towards each other. They already had a working relationship, so it's just like, oh, now we're your bosses. Fuck you.
I can see, yeah, your point on Deathloop, I agree. I'm kind of like meh on Deathloop. It has potential to be a good game. It may be something that I want to play eventually, but I don't really see me going out and like pre-ordering, buying day one. I am looking forward to Doom coming out on Game Pass, though. That's going to be cool.
That would be cool.
The Elder Scrolls are going to be on Game Pass now.
I already have 5 like different.
Yeah, but the
versions of
next
Skyrim.
one.
Well, 6 would be cool, yeah.
Yeah, and then whatever, I'm excited about that, and that adds value to Game Pass, whether it be computer or, well, I guess they're accomplishing what they're trying to do. Like, I have a computer; it doesn't make me want to buy an Xbox, but they gave me more value to Game Pass. It's a lot of fucking money. That's all I really have to say. Like, I think it's a good acquisition on their part. They probably, if based on that comparison, I think they paid too much. But I guess if you're, you have to make some moves when Sony's making all of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. They had to do something. I wanted to say, like, how come they didn't try and buy Epic, but maybe that wasn't even enough money for Epic, like I wonder what Epic's valuation is.
Well, there's been rumors that they're trying to buy Bungie again, but they're not offering enough money for Bungie to be satisfied with.
Do you think that Bungie would actually agree to that, though? Because I feel like, I know they left Microsoft and almost immediately went to Activision, like one overlord to the next, but I feel like, maybe they might not want to be under Microsoft's thumb again. Like,
I really, I don't know what happened in the Microsoft stuff. Like, I know their contract expired and they're pretty much done and they were free to go do whatever they want. But when you set the bar so low with Activision, maybe it's just like anyone's better than Activision. Yeah.
But what I was getting at was basically like, you're saying that Microsoft's not offering enough money, but like, what if what they considered to be a better company, or in their eyes, someone who's not Microsoft decided to offer them money, and it was less than Microsoft, but it was a better, in their eyes, company, like perceived better opportunity. You think they would agree to that? Like,
I think they don't care, because if Microsoft's Microsoft's trying to buy them, so the owners are going to be out. It's all about the owners are going to make money, and whoever's left over is left to deal with it. What they did with Activision was like a partnership, quote unquote, where they still were Bungie. They weren't owned by Activision. They just published all their games. And, so that's why it's different. Like, Microsoft's going to inquire the company if that happened. And the owners would just be like, fuck it, I made a payday, I'm out.
So I guess the owners of Bungie are not like employees, they're separate.
I really don't know, to be honest. But ownership would be being transferred over if they bought them.
I know,
just the way how ZeniMax isn't going to make their own calls if Microsoft doesn't want them to.
Yeah, I understand the concept of it, but I'm just saying like say for instance it was you and I, and we're the owners of Bungie or whatever, and we went through all this stuff, and then it's like, well, do we want to go work for Microsoft, or is company Z going to come over and offer us less money, but hey, it's company Z and we feel like it'd be a better fit for us, even though it's
right. But if someone bought it from us, we can just take the money and leave, and now it's their company.
Yeah, but as an artist, like as a creator, as a content producer, whatever, would you want to do that? That's what I guess I'm getting at, is whether or not the owners of Bungie are also employees and have like that whole like
that I don't know
hands-on approach to it, or if they're just like you said, fuck it, give us our money and we're out,
Yeah, that I don't know. I don't know their mindset, but obviously it sounds like they do. Well, I don't know, because they just may not think they think they can hold out and get more. Maybe. Because they see like, look what all Sony's doing. Come on, you need us. you need a good Halo. The only good Halo since we left has been our Halos.
Okay, so literal idea I just had as you're talking. So you know how Activision has like a Call of Duty every year, every other year, because they have different studios working on it, kind of like this?
Yeah, like Treyarch and...
Yeah, so what if Microsoft did that with 343 and Bungie alternating Halos every other year?
343 has proven to me that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They need to just get off the Halo franchise altogether, unless it's like a spin-off of Halo, like something in the Halo universe. Well, not even ODST, because the ODST was still kind of true to Halo, just in a different aspect of it. But like, you look at Halo 4, Halo 4 was fucking caught in space. Like, no, unless it's a Halo that going into it is fucking caught in space, I'd be okay with that. And then every other year we get a mainstream or like a
mainline Halo.
Mainline Halo, like a numbered. I'd be fine with that, because I just know not to fuck with the bullshit. And you're not taking away the good Halo from me. So everyone gets what they want. COD Halo people get their COD Halo. Classic Halo gets classic Halo. I'd be fine with that, I guess. But if it's like how Activision does, like, I kind of feel like their games are the same.
They kind of are.
So I wouldn't want Bungie to adopt the 343 strategy. And we already know the 3-4 strategy doesn't work, because no one wants to play fucking Halo.
I mean, we've discussed Halo Infinite before, but it's not that I think they're gonna do that, but like you said, as you're talking about it, if Microsoft acquires them, then it almost seems like, well, if this is working for Activision, like, why don't we try to incorporate something like that as well? And I would agree with you in the fact that it would suck, because, as you said, the 343 games are pretty meh, but if we ended up getting a decent Halo game every couple of years, then it might be a good trade-off.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Like, I would love to have a good Halo game every couple of years, but 343 hasn't been able to deliver that, and their last game sucks so bad. It's been 7 years since their last one, or maybe not 7. I think it was like. And
5, they had to bring in all these veterans to come in and try and help them now to actually deliver the game. So.
And Infinite was scrapped and restarted because it probably was like 5. So as far as I'm concerned, they finally realized we fucking suck. And I don't know. I hate what they've done.
That's a whole nother can of worms, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is
But
interesting that Microsoft's trying to get Bungie back on the team. Like, what if one of the terms of the deal was, "Hey, we'll come back and you guys can own us, but we're not going to work on any more Halos ever."
I would be kind of cool with that because they can at least influence it. Like, they could, I'm pretty sure they might not be hands on, but they may like give direction
Or
in a
what if they
sense.
what if they did kind of like a guidance, like
Yeah,
hey, 343, you guys are fucking up. Here's do this instead. Like,
right. You know that
but
stuff that worked beforehand that you got rid of? Yeah, start doing that again. The formula was already fucking there.
bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or what if they said like, hey, we'll let you buy us or whatever, but you still have to have Destiny be multi-platform, like Destiny 3.
I don't think Microsoft would mind that personally. Because Microsoft's not a I feel Microsoft's only doing this exclusive stuff to fire back at Sony because everyone's saying I'm going to get a PlayStation because I can play all the stuff on PC. Or I guess they don't care, but they don't care that we play it on PC. That's a bad. That's a bad. They're getting a lot of shit for not having exclusives. So I think it's more to fire that. Their business model is obviously just to create a platform being the Game Pass and spread it out as wide as possible. So I don't think that'd be that big of an issue for them. Aren't they working on a different game other than Destiny? Or am I wrong about that?
I honestly don't know. I just kind of figured that with all the hoopla and stuff with Destiny 2 that they're
Well,
you
I
know
thought you know what it was? It was that they said there's no Destiny 3 in planned right now. They're planning on continuing to support Destiny 2. I think that's what it was.
yeah, but Gearbox also said we're not working on Borderlands 3, and then Borderlands 3 was announced like not probably less than a year later.
Yeah, but fucking Destiny's free to play, so there's like an actual revenue stream versus all I'm saying is it's making money still, even without
I
there
mean,
being another one.
I get it, but I'm just saying, like, developers are prone to lies and secrecy and all that. So, they're them saying they're not working on Destiny 3, I wouldn't just take that at face value. Like, they might say like we're not actively working on Destiny 3, but it's in the back of our minds and we're pre-planning it, but like, we have
Yeah, but
most
that's
of our resources are dedicated to 2.
right. Like I'd believe it once 2 starts like losing support. Like the updates come slower, stuff like that, where obviously people are starting to work on something else, and Bungie is like a one game studio. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm not concerned either way, to be honest.
It's just a thing to talk about. It's interesting to see where the future has for us.
Speaking about buyouts, there's been a rumor that Sony has been trying to buy Ubisoft. I don't see that happening. I think that's a way too big of an acquisition. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see it. Ubisoft's just too big, in my opinion.
I think part of that rumor might be due to the fact that Ubisoft was going through all of the shenanigans with like the sexual misconduct and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
so people might have been under the assumption that because of they're under the microscope, under the microscope and under investigation and whatnot, and everyone's like paying more attention, that Ubisoft might want to be like, well, fuck it, like if Sony wants to buy us, we'll let them buy us, just because then we'll get some more like positive press that'll kind of take the eyes off of that and shift the focus a little bit, and they're still going to get paid, they're still going to get to make games, and it just kind of, I wouldn't say it helps clean up their image, but you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
it's almost like any other thing where something happens and then
Diverting attention.
yeah, that's pretty much what I was getting at. I just couldn't put it into words. But yeah, it diverts the attention away from that. But and I will say this, I just saw this the other day. It said, I think I saw it on Twitter, that it said 1 in 4 Ubisoft employees saw or experienced sexual harassment or discrimination.
I didn't know that. Like I've been following that quite a little bit, and I didn't know that one. That's fucking crazy, dude. It's crazy how like the game industry right now is totally getting me too'd. like Twitch is fucking horrible for that shit. Oh, we're gonna get banned from Twitch now. What? Um,
Like hide our logo, hide our name.
I think it's fucking crazy that there's these mods that like, or like Hassan or whatever his name was. That
Oh, the person who worked at Twitch. Yeah.
yeah, that would like try to manipulate. Oh, I can get you a partner and shit, like, or get you into these games, like these exclusive parties, and like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Like, I don't know, man. That's a different topic.
Right.
I'm willing to talk about that another time, though. We have a long list today, but that's fucked up, and I really didn't think that that was happening in this kind of stuff because I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's just because you don't hear about it. Like apparently it's been going on, but everyone just kind of figured it was the norm, and they didn't. There wasn't like an open forum to discuss it. And then now that they're doing like all this investigation, you come to find out like it's really fucking prevalent, really fucking high. Like what 25%, like 1 in 4 people. Like that's ridiculous. I'm thinking just in my work, like I'm looking around, like okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. One of these people got sexually harassed or experienced or witnessed it. Like, god damn,
Yeah, that's a high fucking number. But I think this topic goes a lot deeper. So I'm willing to discuss it just when we dedicate time to it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, so going back to the whole like Sony buying them, I think for me that's where I figure kind of where it may have sprung up was because of all this turmoil within Ubisoft, and so it's like, well, maybe they're primed to be bought. But
yeah,
I agree with you that I don't see it happening because I mean, we always give Ubisoft shit when we play their games because there's always something wrong with them, whether it's fucking crashing or the DLC is just garbage, or you know what I mean. Like there's always something with Ubisoft games that just like annoy the shit out of us. And so it's like, while they're a AAA developer, I don't feel that their quality is as good as it should be.
So that's probably why they stopped making games. But before the last couple of games, like Division 2 and Breakpoint specifically, I always felt like their games were very like good, and they just like fumble right at the last second. Like their games are almost there. Like the production value is there. Like the gameplay normally is pretty solid, but then there's some fuck ups here and there that you just can't overlook, and it kind of just ruins everything else. Like I feel like there's always 1 or 2 things that just makes the game not that enjoyable, but the foundation is pretty solid. And I don't know why they take some, like they haven't been able to just like figure that out and fix it.
Because I think it's just the problems vary from game to game. Like I think the issue we had with Far Cry 5, for example, like I think we both really enjoyed the story, and actually playing the game was a lot of fun aside from the whole Bliss section. That part really sucked, but for the most part it was an overall fun experience.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and then we bought the season pass or the DLC or whatever, and fucking like Vietnam and Mars, and I don't even remember what the hell the other one was. The zombie one.
Yeah,
that's how awful it was.
Their DLC was bullshit, and yeah, like that kind of shit it's obviously a cash grab just so they can sell a season pass, and then they shit out some stuff and just to say like, oh, we gave you 4 DLCs that we said we would. It's like, yeah, but I didn't want this shit.
Yeah.
This is not what I wanted. Yeah, the Mars shit fucking blew ass.
And then that was when I crashed. I think I got blue screen of death I think it was during the Mars DLC.
Yeah, you kept getting blue screened.
Mm-hmm. And just I'm trying to think of, what was it? New Dawn, while it was an okay game, it was basically just kind of like, you can tell it was off of the Far Cry 5 engine, and they just maybe they were working on something as like DLC, and they just decided to try and flesh it out into a full game.
Well, that one was sold at $40, and it was meant to be what it was. So I can't hate on it for being just like the continuation of Far Cry, because you knew that Far Cry 5, like 20 years later or whatever, because you knew that going into it. But yeah, it did feel I felt that one felt half-baked. like I felt like they even took out some of the complexities like of the level of your weapons and stuff, and it was even more simplistic in that game. I felt like it was like Far Cry Light.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, so I don't. I think if you already have all the systems there, why you're not having to redesign them? Like why do you take them out and like put a simpler version in that just feels rushed and not I guess not rushed, but it just felt too basic for a Far Cry game, in my opinion.
I kind of felt like it was rushed in just the sense that like it came out within probably less than 2 years that Far Cry 5 was out. Like I want to say maybe a year and a half.
Yeah, it was like a year or something. But
And
like
well, go ahead.
I was gonna say, they already have the map, they already have like the engine. They just need to create new character models. Some of the character models were the same, so it's not like there wasn't a lot of work to be done. Like,
Yeah. I mean, well, we say that as not having worked behind the scenes in games, but I mean, I know what you're saying. Like, the kind of like the base is there. They just had to, a few
yeah,
new things and kind of expand on it. But yeah, and then I'm trying to think. Fucking Narco Road oh my god, damn it, man. So Ghost Recon Wildlands, we've probably discussed this millions and billions of times. It's a fun ass game. We played through. We beat it. DLC. It's great. And then they released the Narco Road DLC, and we're like, what the fuck is this? Mountain Dew Dorito filled fucking pipe dream of a bullshit DLC.
yeah, that's what I mean though. Like, because the DLCs, like, I kind of feel like they just do some weird shit with their DLCs, and Narco Ride is a perfect example of it. Like, that had really nothing to do with the core game. But then Fallen Ghost, I think that's what it's called, right? This,
Yeah, I think so. Or something Ghosts. It might have been Fallen Ghosts.
like, well, the second DLC that came out for that was actually like around the core gameplay of fucking the game that you bought. Like, it's additional content for this game. I kind of want it to be like the core game. Was fucking good. Maybe, like, I know it was short, but I kind of thought it was a little bit better than the actual the core game, because it expanded on what made the core game good, and it added some cool things. I think that's what DLC is about. That's what fucking DLC was about back in the day. When you add a little story, it takes what was good, kind of fixes some of the bad, and adds a little bit. I'm happy with that. But don't give me something that's just like some bull, like fucking in Vietnam. Why I was playing fucking Far Cry against like some super religious cult, and now you're sending me to Vietnam? You're sending me to fucking Mars? I'm fighting zombies now? No, I bought the game to fight like this religious cult leader. Like, what the fuck is wrong with them?
Yeah, and like, god damn it, Fallen Ghost was really like, I think that's a great example of like good DLC, like you're saying, because they added the whole like cloaked enemies that you could only see, I think, using
In
thermal.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
thermal, yeah.
And then the crossbow, which I fucking loved. I was like, holy shit, a crossbow! Like, fuck yes, this is awesome. And then so it's like they made the game cool, and then it sucks because Narco Road came before that. I guess I'm glad Narco Road wasn't the last DLC, because then that would probably be the only thing that I remember about it. Just like,
Yeah,
that
bad taste.
shit sucking. Yeah, exactly. That shit's sucking. But like, we had to play through. Well, I guess we didn't have to play through Narco Road, but we played through Narco Road.
We already bought it.
Yeah, exactly. We wanted to get the experience, and it's like fucking monster trucks and driving off jumps and doing stunts and having to fight fucking planes through rings and like NOS and.
It was very Borderland-esque to me, where it was just like trying to be like, well, Borderlands is not, I don't mean trying to be something it's not in terms of Borderlands. That's what Borderlands is. But the game was trying to take the attitude of Borderlands and put it into a tactical shooter. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It didn't fit at all. It's like fucking oil and water. That shit just didn't mix. Like,
yeah.
God damn it. I mean, but Fallen Ghost was good. And so that, we left the game still thinking it was a great game because it ended on some good DLC. It didn't end with that shit. But like Far Cry 5, I forget which one was the last one. I think it was Mars. And it's fucking terrible. And then I'm trying to think of some of these other games that
I think it was a zombie one. Mars was the second one.
Okay, well.
But another example, shit, I guess it's not really DLC, but it's added content that, again, Ghost Recon, I think, did pretty well that was kind of out of there. The Predator, dude. I thought the Predator content was actually pretty good. I'm not a Predator fan. I've never seen any of the movies except the most recent one.
Wow.
But so this is coming from someone who's like kind of neutral against it. I don't hate Predator. I don't like Predator. I I thought they mixed that in pretty well. You know, an alien ship crashed. No one knew what it was. You got to find out what it is. It's killing people, and you know, I thought it was done well. But then you have shit like like a road that's not. So
Well, so like with what you're saying, like okay, so after Wildlands came Breakpoint, and they took. This is
it
what
was
we're
Breakpoint. You're right. It wasn't Wildlands. You're right.
so this is no, but the Predator was in Wildlands. What I'm gonna say is
What was it?
we moved on, yeah, we moved on to Breakpoint, and then Breakpoint, they took the system from Wildlands and they fucking changed it. It became a looter shooter now. You have to like worry about gear score, blah blah. The fans fucking hated it and shit all over it, which is why they patched that shit out of it. Like you have the option to turn that shit off now because that's never what
That's
Wildlands was
fucking
about.
stupid.
Yeah, they were trying to make it more like Division, I guess, which is weird because they already have the fucking
Division.
Division, like, you know. And so it's like they're having sort of an identity crisis. And then so they did that, and then they had these crossovers, like Wildlands had the Predator and Sam Fisher, the DLC, you know, and that was cool because as Splinter Cell fans, we appreciated that. But then they had a fucking Terminator event where in Breakpoint where it's supposedly God, I don't know how to talk. Supposedly supposed to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it was like a bad replication of him. Like it was pretty terrible. And just overall the event wasn't. It was like you go to different areas that are like infested with Terminators and you have to kill them, and they're like super hard to kill. You can only hit their weak point. Like it wasn't the same. Like I know they were trying to do the whole like Predator mission thing and recapture that magic and that glory, but to me it didn't work.
I didn't really care for that one either. I felt it was more of a nuisance trying to track them down the way that and they're spread all over the map. It's like look, like just put them next to each other and let us go to the different places. Like, don't artificially increase the game by making you run everywhere. That's boring and no one likes it, and it's not intuitive.
Agreed.
So that was a big diversion. But continuing on buyout news.
Fuck Ubisoft is what we're getting at.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There's a rumor again. This rumor has came up many times that Xbox is looking to buy Sega. I heard this from Red Gaming Tech. He already says like, you know, if it's not true, he doesn't. Don't take it. You know, take it with a grain of salt. But what is true is that Xbox has tried buying Sega in the past, which I did not know. They tried buying them around when the Dreamcast was failing. Which I guess you can see that relationship because Phantasy Star came to the Xbox. Jet Set Radio came
Crazy Taxi.
with Crazy Taxi. Yeah, I think that was a dual game, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm just saying like a lot of the Sega franchises ended up on Xbox.
Yeah, and part of the one of the reasons the deal fell through was because one of the terms was that Sega or that Xbox would continue to support the Dreamcast, and they didn't want to do that. But anywho, they've actually maintained a pretty decent relationship throughout the years. I can see this one kind of being true. I don't believe it, but this is more believable to me than Sony buying Ubisoft. They released a really cool blue controller that's going to be on the Xbox One, which I think it looks really badass. I'm not going to buy one, but I think it looks badass.
You should throw it on the screen here.
Yeah, I have the picture, so I will. Apparently, that blue is Sega's blue, so that's a pretty cool little tidbit of information. There has been some live streams where the people on the Xbox side have been wearing Sonic shirts, so a lot of people are trying to connect the dots. I kind of think there's nothing there, but what I can see is a previous rumor, like the first time this started going around back in May or June, there was another rumor saying that they weren't actually going to buy them, but they were going to co-release a Sega themed Xbox in Japan to boost the Japanese market. Whether I believe they're still going to do it now, like if you would have asked me like maybe a week ago, I would have still been on board on that. I don't know if you heard, Xbox sold out pre-orders in Japan.
I did hear that.
So maybe it's something they're already still working on and maybe put something forward. But I thought that was pretty fucking crazy. That kind of took me back a bit, considering during the 360, the last time they did like the whole Japanese push where they got like Final Fantasy games, where they got the one of the Final Fantasy creators to work on Blue Dragon and stuff. Like, that didn't budge anything. Like they actually did do like a genuine push to get like a bunch of Japanese, like well-known Japanese creators on Xbox, and no one gave a shit. So I don't know what they've done recently to sell Xboxes out, but good for them. I don't know. What is your opinion on this?
uh, I don't think they're gonna buy them, but I could see more collabs in the future. I, I mean, you have had like Halo Xboxes. I bought the Modern Warfare 2 Xbox 360 because it came with a bigger hard drive, and plus I thought it was kind of cool back when I actually gave a shit about Call of Duty. If they were to do like a Dreamcast themed Xbox, like
Oh yeah, you would totally buy that.
I would fucking buy that. Like if I had to like sell my kidneys and just drive Uber or Lyft, whatever, DoorDash, if I had to just do whatever I did need to do to make money, I would fucking buy that. Like I could see them doing some sort of collaboration effort, like specialty Xbox, whatever. And I just, it would suck if it was Japanese only, especially if it was a Dreamcast one. I would be pissed. I'd buy it, but then it would just sit there because it'd be like region
Are
locked or whatever.
are they region locked?
Oh, I don't know. I assumed they were, but maybe not. Because I mean, you bought a Switch off of what, Amazon Spain or some shit. So
Yeah, it's a European Switch, but Switches aren't region locked.
yeah,
The
but
way,
I don't know if Xboxes are. But
yeah, I've had a few import Nintendo consoles because for some reason Nintendo already always region locked their home consoles, but the portables would never region lock. So I have like a bunch of Game Boys and stuff from different areas because I like those special editions better. But anywho, I'm kind of gonna backpedal a little bit of what I just said because I just thought about it. I can see it because they just bought ZeniMax for more than fucking
Marvel
Disney and
yeah.
or like yeah. So I can see it, and they've had a relationship this for a while. They just spent a ton of money bringing over PSO to the American market to be solely on Xbox. They're bringing over the next one, and Microsoft is the reason it's here, no doubts about that.
Thank you,
PSO
based Microsoft.
Yeah, like fans have been wanting that forever. So, their relationship and how Microsoft's willing to throw money at their problems kind of makes me believe it. Like, not that it's going to happen, but there's been talks, and they probably just haven't reached a number that both sides are willing to meet. I think that's my personal opinion. So if it were to happen a year from now, 2 years from now, I think it's been trying to happen for a while, or like it's been in talks for a while. Just both sides haven't came to an agreement.
Yeah, I don't know. If they did, it would be a good, I mean, a huge deal. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say it's a good thing, but I mean, like you said, they're responsible for bringing over PSO2, which we waited 8 fucking years to play.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm excited for New Genesis. I don't know if you saw the Tokyo Game Show stuff on that. I was gonna do a video on it, but
I need to go watch it. I haven't seen it yet, but I do know it's there. So it's on my list of things to watch.
It looks really cool. It looks really cool. But yeah, so like if Microsoft buys Sega, like they'll just further booster their library, and I mean, I just don't see a number that they could agree upon, because I feel like Sega's been around for a long time. They probably are okay with operating independently and still having a working relationship. So I don't know whether or not they'd want to, be under Microsoft's thumb, kind of like what we were saying earlier about Bungie and all that. It's just like, you never really know.
Well, if Microsoft just buys them and lets them operate the way they are, just like
hands-off approach.
Yeah, I can see them agreeing to that. I would agree if like Microsoft, was going to go in there and
Turn them into rare.
Right. But I don't. I from my knowledge that they haven't really been doing that recently. So, like, they've been buying the companies and just leaving them alone, like Obsidian and stuff.
In my head, I was just thinking right now, like, I wonder if they would do like a Perfect Dark made by Sega.
I don't know if I'd want that.
Like, how would that work? You know?
So I'm trying to think of Sega's track record and in game. Like, they don't really do FPS, so I don't think I'd want that.
I mean, Code Veronica was a Dreamcast game. I think they ended up
But that
porting
was
it to.
Capcom, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, they. I don't know. It's whatever. But
I just don't see like I see that helping the cause, especially with kids. Like with oh, you mean we're gonna get all these new Sonic games for Game Pass? Like that's cool. But in terms of a console seller, like for the hardcore, like I guess me and you, Sonic's cool, no? Like I grew up on him. I love Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles. But I wouldn't buy a console for Sonic.
true.
So I just like I can see it as being a cool, like a crazy thing happening, but I don't see the like it flipping anyone, honestly. Like,
I think if they were to buy Sega, it would be nowhere near that price that they paid for ZeniMax either. Like, I don't even think it would be in the billions, honestly. Like, what would you
I,
value it at?
I don't know money, dude. I don't like that kind of money, so I'm like, I don't even know where to start. But it's just, I just don't see Sega as relevant as they used to be. Like, they're still relevant. I think they're relevant because of their past. Like, you see Sonic games coming out, and how many Sonic games have came out that you like don't even know came out? I can't even name all the damn Sonic games that came out. Like,
yeah, there's like Sonic Blast, Sonic Forces, Sonic Colors, Sonic Mania, apparently.
yeah, like,
yeah.
and the younger kids don't really relate to Sonic the way we do. So I like it's a big. It would be a big buy, but I don't see it being as relevant as ZeniMax, which is kind of sad to me, because that was my childhood.
Well, and it's obviously just the timing of it, because just think about it. Like, what if Microsoft had purchased Sega like as the Dreamcast was dying? That because the big three at the time, Sega, Microsoft, Sony, Microsoft buys Sega, different fucking story, you know what I mean? But now
But
it's like 20, 30 years later, and just like, it's cool, whatevs.
you know what would be cool though?
Hmm.
If they did buy that, because for some reason Microsoft does like bringing back old franchises, which is cool. I'm not hating on it, but they do like reviving dead franchises. Fucking Power Stone 3. That'd be cool.
That would be fucking incredible. Yeah, I wow.
Oh, was that Capcom? That was Capcom, wasn't it? That was Capcom. Never mind.
But still, I mean,
Yeah.
well, I don't know. It would be damn cool though. Power Stone 3 would be incredible. Microsoft, you have to buy Capcom now.
Yeah, by Capcom.
We want Power Stone 3. You need to make it happen.
Yeah. All right. So the next topic I just wanted to bring up. We talked about the SSD on the Xbox, the additional SSD being $120. That actually ended up being confirmed, but I was incorrect about it being a 4.0 times 4, which is 4 lanes of PCI. It's actually a 4.0 times 2. So 2 lanes of that's 4.0 PCI lanes are or double speed, I'm sorry, of 3.0. So it's essentially just a 3.0 SSD. Because I was a 3 times 4 SSD, which is what you find at the store. So I actually think it's costs twice as much as it should. So it is a bad deal. But that also raises a little question for me, because Sony's doing that whole thing with their SSD, how they're being able to dynamically load in stuff, and the streamless gaming, so you can like be warping around and shit just loads in and have just a bunch of data, and it's utilizing 4.0 speeds. If this SSD is only really 3.0 speeds, well, it's actually 4.0, but it's the equivalent of 3.0. Like, is Sony going to have the upper hand in terms of making more creative games, because they're just going to have more like their console's going to be more capable of more of just like throwing shit in and out of the game. Granted, I don't see this being applicable for many games. Like I don't see it being applicable for Call of Duty and like for games that like that. But like Ratchet and Clank, where you're teleporting around and things like that, it's going to come into play for some offhand titles that like where that experience is going to be cool.
I
That
think
was,
you'd probably only notice it like in terms of, hey, this is happening on PlayStation versus Xbox if it was a game that was coming out for both consoles. And so like let's say you're trying to do a comparison video and the PlayStation's loading or rendering or whatever faster because it has that versus the Xbox's version.
well, the loading is not what I was getting referred to. Have you seen the Ratchet and Clank thing where he's teleporting around and like apparently in like 4 seconds it's streams in 5 gigs worth of data.
No, holy shit, that's crazy.
Like it's just it's fucking crazy like what they're doing with that. And the idea is kind of what NVIDIA is doing with the new GPUs, the IO that I'm so excited about, is that it's pretty much just streaming the data off the CPU or the hard drive into the GPU. It just bypasses the CPU completely. So it's just like rapid amounts of data. Well, what allows that to happen is the PCI 4.0 speeds. If Microsoft's not having those speeds, then I'm just from my tech standpoint, it's like, well, now we have two things that aren't the same. Unless there's those type of games that you can only play on your installed hard drive, which I can see because that probably is a four-lane 4.0. I don't know how they're going to remedy that, but or just maybe just ignore it, and those games are only going to be on PlayStation. Which, when people grasp how to do that, I think will give PlayStation an advantage. So I think Microsoft is going to have the better multi-plat games because you always have to design for the lowest, and Microsoft and PC would be the lowest in terms of the hard drive speeds. So, but they have the stronger hardware. So your Microsoft or your Xbox would be the better multi-plat. But then PlayStation is going to have some experiences that you're not going to be able to have anywhere else until PC starts doing it. Because like as of now, you have the hardware, but Windows hasn't released the software to allow you to do that stuff that I explained beforehand. So no one even knows how to develop for it on PC yet. So it's going to be years before we actually see a game that utilizes it. So in that meantime, PlayStation may be the only way to get that type of experience. And again, it's very niche because how many games are going to have you just like fucking flying around in a different worlds and stuff? But there's going to be 1 or 2 games that do it very well, and it's going to be an experience that you can't get anywhere else. So when I saw the SSD, it kind of made me just start thinking about that kind of stuff. That's pretty much it for that.
Yeah, no, I don't really have anything to add.
So another leak that we had was Red Gaming Tech was talking about how Sony is actually working with Konami to make a MGS 1, 2, 3, and 4. MGS 1 is going to be a full remake from the ground up. So that's supposedly going to look cool as shit.
So for those of you that don't know, what is MGS?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Metal Gear Solid. So the original one that was on PlayStation 1, fucking 20 years ago, I guess. Long ass time. Maybe even longer than that. Anyway.
Yeah.
They're redoing the game from the ground up, so that's cool. Apparently 2, 3, and 4 are going to be similar experiences. He claims his source wanted to expand on that. So there's speculation there. I don't know what that's going to be. I'm not going to do any speculation. I'm going to take him on his word. It's probably going to be a similar experience. But 1 is going to be from the ground up. It will be on PS5 and PC. No news on the release dates. No news on if PC is going to be time exclusive for a year and then come out on. I mean, PlayStation is going to be time exclusive and then come out on PC later. If I was betting man, I would guess that's probably the case. But that's just some information. I think it's cool for people who like Metal Gear. I think I would give it a shot this time around now that I'm older. I've learned that I appreciate a little bit more slow things now. I never really cared for Metal Gear when I was a kid. I always thought it was one of the most overhyped franchises out there. Like everyone loved it except me. So I'd be willing to give it a shot this time around. I always thought the stories were interesting, and I enjoyed watching the cutscenes that were like hours fucking long. I just never cared for the gameplay.
Which is weird because now it's like you're a big fan of the gameplay.
Oh, Metal Gear?
Yeah, the style of gameplay, kind of like
No,
stealthy.
fucking Splinter Cell's amazing.
Yeah,
Like I love like even when Splinter Cell and like they came out at the same time, I loved fucking Splinter Cell. Hated Metal Gear. I think maybe it's a top down kind of like
almost isometric kind of.
yeah, it's weird. It's just it's cartoony. It's like I felt Splinter Cell was a little bit more realistic, more not as I don't know. It's a very Japanese take on a stealth on a stealth game. Like you can see their cones of vision, and you know exactly where not to go. And I don't know. It wasn't the same to me.
I got you.
I think that's cool info. I really don't have anything else to say than that.
It'd be interesting. Let's check it out when it releases.
Sad news. Well, maybe not sad news. We'll see what they come up with. Xbox Game Lab is going away October 13th. So hopefully you'll hear this podcast before October 13th. They are coming back next year. They have not said why they're going away or why they're coming back. My guess is that they're going to be discontinuing the current versions of the controllers and start producing a new one. So they kind of need to get their factories in gear to do that. My guess, because there are slight differences between the current S controllers or the current Xbox controllers and the next gen ones, although not many. So yeah, I'm looking for them to come back because I actually do want a controller, and I've been holding out on buying a customized one until the new controllers came out because I do want the hybrid D-pad. So I'm looking forward to them to return. I may be the first customer.
Day one, waiting in line.
Yeah.
But then all the bots are gonna buy all the controllers.
Right. That would be funny. They buy out all the. What color would the bots all buy? Like, how would they configure it? Just randomize it?
Yeah, just like using hexadecimal or something, just random colors. I don't know.
So you have something you want to talk about? A few things.
I think I just put Silent Hill 4 The Room being re-released. What was interesting about that was it's coming out on PC but not PlayStation. So it's like you can play it. I heard that was like pretty much the worst Silent Hill game that's ever come out because, it takes place in a room. Like, I mean, you exit the room and you do things, but overall it's nowhere near as like exploratory, I guess, as like other Silent Hill games. You don't have like maps to go through and backtrack and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure there's probably still backtracking, but from everything I've seen and read about the game, it's like, oh, here's a hole, you go through the hole and there's something else. I'm like, all right, let me go back into the room, and then, oh, there's a different way, let's go through the vent. And just seems kind of, I don't know, generic. Yeah. But just interesting news that it's coming back on PC but not PlayStation. That's it.
Oh, that was also so Steve.
Oh, yeah, okay. Because I don't have the thing that you do. So, because right now one of my monitors is down, we got VR set up. Anyway, Steve / Alex / whoever, the person from Minecraft, is coming to Smash Brothers. The Fighter Pass, I don't know, whatever one it is, 7, I think is the person. And yeah, I saw some little bit of video footage and some GIFs or whatever on Twitter. It's interesting. His final Smash, I think they director said it was called like Room something or another, and it ends with the fucking steak, like a cooked steak from Minecraft, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool, but I mean, fuck, it's Minecraft. It's Minecraft is huge. It's everywhere. It's been on every platform known to man practically. I don't know. What do you think? Good move by Nintendo?
I think it's a good move. I don't think adding a character, character can be a bad move. Um,
Unless it's
I
another Fire Emblem character.
I guess yeah, that would be the only bad move. It's because they've done it too much. Um, I think it's a good move. I think it kind of fits and it kind of doesn't. It's kind of like this weird thing because, Nintendo is very kid friendly, obviously, and Minecraft kind of fits that universe. But then at the same time, Minecraft, like, I was looking at his moves. I'm like, oh, this kind of doesn't fit the game style. At least I don't think so. At least just from the trailer. I'm pretty sure some, tourney players already figured something out on how to cheese with him. But I think it's a good move. I think it makes sense because Nintendo and Xbox do have such a good relationship, and it kind of just further cement that. Just the same way Banjo's in there. How Banjo's technically a Microsoft thing now. And yeah, I like it. Like all in all, I like it. I think it's just weird.
I mean, because the reason why I brought up Fire Emblem is because obviously they put a shitload of Fire Emblem characters.
No, that
there,
was
but
actually a controversy for
yeah,
a while.
yeah. No, I made that joke on Twitter because I saw that they were like, "Who's going to be the next fighter in Smash Brothers?" And I quote tweeted it or whatever, and I was like, "Fire Emblem character?" Question mark. Like I don't know. But Minecraft is huge, and I think it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. I mean, they have fucking Bayonetta and Ryu and just
yeah,
whatever.
at this point, like Smash is. I don't know, man. Like I just think about Smash. I think some of the characters don't belong in there personally, but it just takes me back to the old like Genesis and NES days. You tell me back then that we're gonna have a game where Mario and Sonic can fight, and it's like a legit, like not a flash game, like a legit both Sega and Nintendo are on board. And I'm like, fuck you. Even as a little kid, I would have been like, fuck you. Like it's crazy. So much. I think that's one of the things I appreciate about Smash is that because us that have been around for so long and have seen actual console wars where they had characters fighting rather than just PlayStation and Sony better, and neither of them really have like mascots anymore. Like there was a day when their Sony and Mario was a thing that everyone made flash videos about. I mean Mario
Sonic.
and Sonic.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's actually like a thing in multiple games, not just Smash, not like a one-off, like fucking Sonic and Mario at the Olympics, like what the fuck is that? Like it's just that game, like the current gen thing of it's like a flash video to me, dude. When the like Ryu versus fucking Steve, like what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Fucking Pac-Man versus Bayonetta, like come on.
Yeah, like I don't have no words for it.
Boggles the mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think people are gonna like be like, oh shit, you can play as Steve from Minecraft and Smash. I'm gonna buy that shit now. But if you already have the game and you already have the pass or whatever, then fucking cool.
I think it's a cool character. Yeah, I agree with you. It's not gonna sell anyone. I'm not going to buy it. And I own Smash. I haven't bought any of the DLC characters. I think they're too expensive. I'm not paying $25 for like 6 characters. Not happening. So now if I want both passes, I'm paying the price of the fucking game again for 10 characters. Not happening. I do think these characters are the coolest characters though. Because like Persona. So like Persona, like they're just coming out of fucking nowhere. And it's so weird to me because has Persona even been on Nintendo game? Has fucking Cloud. Why the fuck is Cloud in there? Cloud's never been on a Nintendo series. Like on a Nintendo game at all. He's been exclusively PlayStation. Well, maybe now PC because of they released like the 20-year-old game when the fucking new one came out. But like there's characters that aren't even on Nintendo that are on fucking there. Like that's just so the entrance should be at least you should have been on Nintendo consoles at some point in the fucking 30 years they've been around.
Like the barrier to entry into the game is what you're mean?
Yeah, like the requirements. My bad.
Yeah. I just wanted to clarify. I understood you, but I wanted to make sure everyone else understood what you were saying.
Like it's just so frustrating. Like why the fuck is Cloud in there?
Why are there 400 Fire Emblem characters in there? Like, I've never even fucking played Fire Emblem. I know it's a big
But
series and it has a good following or whatever, but still, like,
but that's
goddamn.
that's a Nintendo game at least. I can understand that. Granted, like they're why they're favoring them, I don't know because they all kind of play similar.
That's what I'm getting at. Like,
But
Marth and Roy might as well be the same fucking character.
I think
Like,
it'd be cool if they did like Sonic and or not Sonic, Knuckles or like
no,
another Sonic character. I think that'd be cool. Um,
fucking tails just flying around everywhere.
yeah, Tails can never kill him by making him fall.
Maybe Tails' thing could be like when he lands, he starts accumulating damage. So you have to try and knock him out of the air, and then when he's on the ground, he's starting to take damage.
They have floaty characters. Kid Icarus, you can't kill him by like you can fly on off one side of the level under and then come back the other side.
I guess.
Like
But
you
he's,
just make them easier to KO on the sides.
yeah.
That's the downfall of them. Let more floaty, I guess, as they call it. I don't
Yeah.
know. I that game is just. I think it's so weird to see the characters that are in there now. I feel like a lot of them don't fit, but whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And I think that's all we have for today.
Yeah. We'll probably call it a wrap here for this episode.
All right, I've been Daniel.
And I've been Matthew.
See you later.
I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.